when I was about 16 years old, I had scary experience with a customer at my job. Although not super important to the story, at the time this happened I was working as a pharmacy technician at a well-known retail pharmacy in my area. It was my first job and I had only been working for a couple of months at this point, so I was still getting used to interacting with customers. On the day it happened, it was relatively busy. I was moving through the customers relatively quickly, using my well-rehearsed motto to greet each customer, "Hi, welcome to Dash, how can I help you?" You know, the usual stuff. I was halfway through the line when this one man stepped up to the front. He looked like he was probably in his early to mid-20s. He was tall, skinny, and had dirty blonde hair. He also looked like he had kind on a grunge aesthetic going on, as he was wearing a black beanie and a black leather jacket over a band t-shirt with chain necklaces and gauges. But I think the first thing I noticed about him was the eyeball tattoo he had on his hand. It kind of looked like the one on top of the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. It was a pretty unusual tattoo, which I think is why it caught my eye so quickly. I greeted him as I did any other customer, but his reply took me by surprise. "Hi, welcome to Dash, how can I help you? You're cute, can I get your number?" I was taken completely off guard by this. He didn't say it in a creepy way or anything. It was just very upfront and matter of fact, which I think is why it startled me so much. At that point I have never had a stranger ask for my number before and certainly never in such a brazen way. So, out of shock and stupidity, I blurted out, "Oh, yeah, okay," in response. Please don't ask me why I did this. It's not like he was super ugly or anything like that, but the fact he had tattoos already gave away that he was already too old for me. In my state you need to be 18 to get a tattoo, and I wasn't really looking to mingle at that point. I think I just blurted it out because of the shock. I also was a pretty big people pleaser at the time, so that probably played into it as well. So here I was, with his phone in my hand, realizing that it was way too late to turn back and tell him I changed my mind. So, in another act of complete idiocracy, I decided the best course of action was to put a fake number into his phone. This idea was stupid as fuck and I know that now. The whole situation that followed could have been avoided had I just told him no to begin with or used the classic "I have a boyfriend" excuse. Honestly, I think I was just scared and I wanted the whole ordeal to end as quickly as possible without the need for confrontation and, in my frazzled, anxiety-ridden state, giving him a fake number seemed like the best way to do that. Luckily, he didn't check his phone to see if the number worked at that moment, so I was able to get his medication and ring him out without any problems. We didn't really talk while I was ringing him out. We just kind of went through the motions of a normal exchange at the pharmacy. He was wearing a mask so I couldn't see his facial expressions, but he did stare at me quite a bit. After the transaction ended he bid me farewell and promised to text me later. I just chuckled nervously in response and nodded my head. My heart was pounding for a while afterwards, but after an hour or two went by with no incident I just assumed he took the hint and was going to leave me alone. Boy, was I wrong. A couple more hours went by and it was later in the evening. My pharmacist went on break so it was just me and two other younger technicians taking care of things. It was pretty dead so we were just talking amongst ourselves in the back when I heard someone yelling at the front desk. "Hey! Hey, you!" I turned around and my heart dropped into my stomach when I saw the man with the eyeball tattoo standing at the front counter, looking like he was about to flip his lid. I can think of few times in my life that have been that scared. My fear only heightened when he told me to come here and waved me over with his finger. I complied only to seem less suspicious. I walked over to him calmly and asked him what was up. "Did you give me a fake number?" I could hear the fury in his voice and it was obvious he was speaking through gritted teeth. I insisted that I didn't know what he was talking about and that there must have been a mistake. We went back and forth like this for a while, with me denying that I ever gave him a fake number and him explaining that he knows I did because when he texted me the number bounced. Finally, after a while of arguing, he seemed to start to believe me and calm down. He handed me his phone again so I could re-enter the number. The issue was that after that whole ordeal, I knew I definitely didn't want to put my real number into his phone. The dude was obviously a nut job. I understand he must have been angry at being lied to, and I know I should have been straight up with the dude, but him going out of his way to return to the store and confront me was just a huge red flag. Even naive 16-year-old me could see that. Plus, the fact that he already added the heart eyes emojis around my name in his phone was super creepy to me. Finally, my brain finally decided to start working again and produce intelligent thoughts, because the next plan I came up with is what inevitably saved me from this situation in the end. When he handed me his phone, I tried to look as calm and nonchalant as possible. I started to type in a number before stopping to look up at him with a blank expression and say coolly, "Oh yeah, one thing. I am 16, is that going to be a problem?" I have never seen a look of shock quite like the one that spread across his face at that moment. His eyes grew to the size of dinner plates and he just let out this long "oh." That told me all I needed to know. I slowly handed him his phone back with a "yee." And he mumbled something that I didn't really hear before he turned around and got the fuck out of there. The wave of relief I felt in that moment was like nothing I have ever felt before. My knees buckled underneath me as my adrenaline rush reached its end. My coworkers consoled me and told me that I should report him to the pharmacy manager. I told them I would if he ever came back, but I never saw him again after that, so I didn't really see it as necessary. Plus, I didn't even know the guy's name. The identifying feature I remembered about him was the eyeball tattoo on his hand. So, the moral of the story is, don't give fake numbers to guys unless you know you can get away with it. And, to the man with the eyeball tattoo, I hope we never see each other again. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss it when we upload a new video.